Yes. Very good evening to everyone present here. With warm greetings, it gives me a great pleasure to extend my warm welcome on behalf of college and Institution Innovation Council 3.0. On this auspicious occasion, I would like to welcome you all for the workshop on Foundation of Entrepreneurial Thinking organized under BEC IIC 3.0. Stars shine at night, but some stars shine at bright daylight. With this note, it's pleasure to welcome such a wonderful speaker of today's workshop, Mr. Vaibhav Sugandhi, founder and CEO of eArtKey Innovation Private Limited, and Dr. A.D. Devangovi sir, IIC coordinator, and Professor Sandeep Kugli, assistant professor at IIC department. And I also welcome all the participants present here. Now I request to Shruti Hirigodur ma'am to give an introduction about our today's speaker. Over to you.
Thank you, Akash. I welcome today's speaker for this evening, Mr. Vaibhav Sugandhi. He is a founder and CEO of eArtKey Innovation Private Limited. Mr. Vaibhav completed his Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communication from KLE Hubli. In February 2016, he started a startup called Unique Tech Design Hubli. It was an electronical system design and manufacturing based company. In Jan 2021, he started a new venture that is eArtKey Innovation Private Limited. It is an electronical system design and manufacturing with an artificial intelligence. He is also a blogger. He written an articles like A Golden Cycle, A Best 20 Hours, A 1 Minute Manager. He is passionate about PCB designing. He also conducted a training program for more than 3,000 students across India. He is actively focusing on building an online opportunity and education tech vertical to support an electronical designing and manufacturing in India. It's a pleasure to have you with us, Vaibhav. The platform is yours. Kindly share your thoughts on entrepreneurship thinking. Welcome.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Akash and Shruti, for welcoming. It's really great to be a part of this wonderful session. I try to give my best, whatever I learned in this particular 4 and 5 years of my journey. And also I came up with some presentation here. So just try to bring it whatever the best possible from my side. Thank you for onboarding. So shall we start now?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Just a second, I am sharing my presentation. Is it visible? My screen is visible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, great. So basically, this particular session, I want it to be interactive, and I want to speak with people rather than talking to computer in front of me. So I just request everyone to be open-minded and just put your thoughts in the questions and the process which I'm going to take to this particular presentation. As usual, if you are asking me any questions in between, today's presentation and also the content which I'm delivering, it is focused on my experience. Okay, it's not like it's a ballpark. It's not like this is the only way. We came up with so many ups and downs in the process of entrepreneurship and my startup journey, and also there is an interesting story why we started UTD and then we moved into private limited company now, that is eArtKey Innovation Private Limited. So why we are doing all these things is there is a special story behind it, right? Everybody is having their own story. So keeping that in mind, I would like to share my experience in the form of presentation right now. So by the end of this particular presentation, if you feel like to add something, then most welcome. If you feel like to ask some of your questions, thought process and suggestions, I'm very happy to listen to your thought process. And in the process of this particular presentation, I'll ask a couple of questions and I want answer from everybody. Okay, keep ready for that. It is not going to be a normal session like anything. I really don't know how other sessions went, but I personally conduct sessions like in a most interactive manner, whatever possible from my side. just before I very happy for sharing my experience once again. And let's start with the first and foremost thing. Uh, what about your thought on entrepreneurial thinking? Like, what is the expectations you guys are having from this particular session? Can you just text me in a chat box quickly so that I can understand what exactly you guys are looking for, so that we can go ahead with the interactive session. Text me in chat box. Chat box is open. I think here it is. So just let me know your one word, like what is you are expecting from this particular session, what it is going to be. No expectation. Before jumping into that, I just wanted to cross verify. All students are engineering students only, or somebody is from management? How is the audience? Mixture here.
It's Vaibhav. It's actually a mixture of MBA students, UG students as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And this is going to be very interactive. I believe so, because for a startup, this is what required. Not only just technology, not only about management. It's a combination of both. So I think, okay, Rahul is saying something. How to get entrepreneurial ideas? Oh, that's great. Actually, your expectation is amazing. That's great. Actually, I understand your thought process. What about others? Only 1% out of 54. Oh my God. Out of 54, only 1%. No other expectation from other students. Are you just attending? Go ahead, tell me whatever you want. It is not necessary that I need to cover whatever you are saying, or it is not necessary that you need to tell what is related to the topic only. You just tell me what you are expecting from this session. As I already said, it should be interactive. In fact, in other sessions, when I'm training to engineering students and other students, I used to ask them question and they have to speak to me, not texting in a chat box. But now I think we are just meeting. I personally believe that text is comfortable. No answer? Nobody's answer? Nobody is expecting anything from this session? That makes my job easy, by the way. Okay, no problem. So I think it takes time for students to get comfortable. Wherever you want, you can apply it, or you can come up with your own formula for that. Okay. So agenda for today's discussion, which I came up with idea right now, is all about, we are going to discuss about these 4 pillars. One is all about administration and management, which is most important, I believe. Okay. There is no priority, by the way, but just I'm giving it in the way which I focused it from my startup perspective. Second one is all about finance and accounting, which matters most at the end of the year, right? And third point is all about marketing and advertising, which makes sense when it comes to the product or service-based company. And ultimately, the core business is based on the technology or a service that you are using, right? Because if you have a startup and that startup is based on technology, then absolutely you need to have that vertical separately, and it should be focused like anything, because that is the core business formula or core business secret. So keeping that in mind, I came up with these particular points, like administration and management, finance and accounting, marketing and advertisement, and wherein technology and service is the most important at the least. Okay. So these are the 4 points which we are going to discuss. And in between, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I need answers from your side, guys. Not like 1 or 2 people answering. I personally request you to text like anything. Like when you are talking to your best friend, you are asking a couple of questions, right? On that time, that curiosity will bring you some knowledge. So please be open-minded and try to act with me. So keeping that in mind, I spoke to a couple of my mentors who are very good in management and administrative levels. And I spoke to my friends who are very good with, okay, some comment is there. I'm very interested to read it. So let me check. That's great, actually. If you comment in between, I'm personally feeling happy for that. To know how the entrepreneurs enjoy their life. Oh, that's amazing. And what motivates them to be? This question is very amazing, actually. In fact, this particular question is basic fundamental for beginning the journey with entrepreneurship. Okay, so I'll answer this question after this particular slide. Okay, is that okay for you, Chandru? Right? So I'll try to answer that question after this particular slide, because this slide will, bring me some context for today's discussion. That's why. Okay. So my point was, when I started my journey, I used to talk with my mentors who are very good at, management, administrative, guiding other startups and all. And when I interacted with them, I got to know there is an option called, entrepreneurship, which is other than a normal job everybody takes at the graduation level, right? And I would like to set a context here before jumping into the entire presentation. Do remember, there is no good or bad in entrepreneurship and employment. If you choose employment, I have a huge respect for that. If you choose entrepreneurship, I have a same respect for that as well. Okay, there is no great and not great kind of a comparison we are doing here. Okay, it's all your choice. It's your personal choice. Whichever you want to take, you can take it. There is nothing wrong in both the things, by the way. And there is nothing related to finance for both the activities. If you become an employee, you cannot become a rich. That is a very big myth, actually. If you become an entrepreneur, you will become a rich guy. This is also a very big myth. So don't compare both the platforms. Both are an opportunity. It's you who is going to execute it and make sure how to make it successful. Okay, keeping that in mind, my first vertical, or maybe first pillar for the entire startup, is all about administration and management. Okay, so the company, whatever the core decisions we take, like say for example, we are going to work on this particular product, or we are going to work on this particular new feature in our service, or maybe new feature in our software if you're a software based company, and we are going to work with this company in the next 5 years. So these kind of core decisions, whatever we are going to take, those are taken by administrative or management level. It cannot be done with any managers or maybe employees or other people. They are required in other pillar, but this pillar is all about the people who started the business. They are all promoters of that company. They are the people who are holding the share of the company, and they are responsible for profit and loss, both the things. Okay, so they are the people who are going to take a decision, core decisions, based on the situation, based on the future thinking, based on the vision of the company, based on the mission of the company, and based on the values of that particular company. Okay, so when you are able to do the core decisions, when you are able to have proper idea how to execute an idea, or proper idea how to execute certain project or a service, or talk to customer, all those things comes into the core decision sector. If you take a proper decision, then you must be responsible for your decision. In fact, in this particular situation, I get a thought of Ratan Tata ji, right? So what he says, he will keep part when you decide somebody to onboard, it is a very happy moment. Everybody comes. Like if I say my friend now, I'll call my friend and say, I'm going to onboard you in our company. I'll give you some X percentage of share, and you are my co-founder. Then you will come with a very big smile on face, right? Yes or no? I want answer from others. What do you think? Oh, I have one more comment here. Okay, I'll come back to that comment, but my question is here. So if you want to onboard somebody on your startup, then your friend will come up with a very big smile on a face, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely yes. By the way, there is no question in that. But can you tell me on the same friend, if you tell that same friend after 1 year, now your job is done and your contribution is completed with the company, I need to offboard you. What is that same friend will respond to you, and how he will respond, or what is the situation is going to be? Come on.
Sir.
Yes. Someone is saying never, not possible. Okay. What about others? Only few people are texting. I don't know why others are not texting. Are you not interested, or how it is actually? Yes, not possible. As I told, I want it to be interactive actually, because if it is not interactive, then I would have recorded session to you guys rather than coming here live and discussing with you, right? So that's why I request you to interact, not just listen to me. That's great. That's great. I appreciate this. Thank you. So yes, it is not possible. if you are even non-profit organization also, even we saw that so many startups are non-profit organizations. Those startups also have their own book of accounts. They have to file some compliances with the government of India. They also maintain the cash ledger because they need a transparency. They need to track their business, how they are going and how much they are investing, how much their expense are, and all other aspects of the entire process. If you come to the other business, which is generally made for profit, then obviously books of account comes into the picture where P&L includes and so many other terms includes there. Cash flow statement, ratio statements, all those things comes into the picture in books of account. And also very important concept which we have to understand if you want to become your own startup founder, whether you start your small business or a big business or a private limited company or whatever you want to do, you must aware of tax compliances. If you are not aware of tax compliances, I'm sure you are going to mess with your books of account by end of the year. If you don't know, what to spend on, what not to spend on, and how much to spend on, and also when to complete your compliances process and all, then probably you miss the deadline, and then you put a lot of hefty amount as a penalty for your missing the date. Okay, which I encountered actually. This is a small story. In my UTD, when I started, we started with a GST, normal GST account and all those things. But I forgot to file a GST for 1 or 2 months. I really don't remember how many months, but some in specific date period, I never completed my GST return. Okay. And after 1 year, I got to know that the GST return is not completed. You know what? How I got to know it? From GST office in Hubli Dharwad, they sent a letter to me, or maybe email, I guess, on that time. I really don't know. They so ledger and so many other goods transfer ledger, all those things. And I learned bits and pieces of accounting, and now I am managing my accounting in our office by myself only, finance part and all. And even this particular vertical comes into a personal finance also, right? So when it comes to personal finance also, we must be taking care of all the things like books of account. We need to maintain a book where we are tracking our expenses and all. The same thing should be applied to our company. Otherwise, we will run the company. There is no question that we will not run the company or we will not going in a right direction. Probably we will run the company and also we will be profitable. But the success rate is very slow. Why? Because you are not aware of what is the discipline of startup need to be done. When you are not aware of the disciplines need to be executed in the startup, it becomes a hard learning for you. Something goes wrong tomorrow, like what I told you, like in a GST, whatever the problem happened to me, on that time I got to know what is the importance of filing the nil return also. I told the GST people actually, I have not generated any bill and I have not taken any bill also. I mean, I have not purchased anything, neither sold anything. Then why should I file a GST for that month? You have to indicate, they said that you have to indicate it is a nil return for that particular month. If you don't indicate it, by the way, indicating nil return is just obviously there is a business model which is completely different. There is a technology which is completely different, and the customer journey map or the customer experience is completely different. And there are so many factors comes into the picture when it comes to the same vertical companies. But if you ask me, then it is categorized in the segment of marketing and advertisement. If you are not good at marketing, if you are not having any plan, it's not like good at in the sense you need to have a degree in marketing, nothing like that actually. If you are aware of marketing and if you are aware of advertisement responsibilities, then it is easy to get some customer on board, or it is very easy to get some more revenue from the marketing or maybe revenue from your execution. Okay. So if you are not aware of these things, what happens? If you are not aware of social media management, nobody will get to know there is a startup called this particular name. If you consider my company only, UTD, when I started UTD, I am not at all aware of something called social media management or, Google presence and all those things, or even I'm not at all aware of CRM. There is something called CRM, right? Customer relationship management. I'm not at all having any plan for maintaining the customer database or maintaining the relationship with the customers. On that time, what happened? Most of the customer used to call me and ask me, what is your company name? isn't it? I mean, they used to call me actually. They called me like, am I speaking to Vaibhav Sugandhi? Yes, I said, yes, I am Vaibhav Sugandhi. I think we need this particular service from your company, and your company name is this. You can connect with some other company which is very good at social media management and lead generation, or maybe advertising and marketing process, and tell them what you want and who is your target audience and what is their needs, and how they look at this particular content and all. They will manage the content for you. If you can afford it, they can do it. But otherwise, if you want to start your small business and your funding is very small and you want to wet yourself in all the vertical, then still you can do it. It's not necessary that you have to outsource this particular thing all the time. You can still do it by yourself and make sure that you achieve your desired goals. Okay. So this is one important vertical I personally believe. Anyone is from marketing and advertisement, vertical or marketing background? HR people, I think they know much about this particular vertical, I believe. Anyone is interested towards this social media management, advertisement, and marketing and all those things? Again, the reason why I'm asking this question is, I want you people to check with the points here. I experienced this and I thought this is the most important thing to be considered in this vertical. But if you add something which is even more better than this, or if you want to add something which is a value addition to this, then it makes sense to me as well. So that's why I'm asking. Come on, guys. Nothing to add or nothing to talk, or nobody is from marketing segment, MBA students. So all these electronic gadgets which you are seeing on your day-to-day life now, those are the products which are from ESDM industry. So for our company, the core business technical skills is all about technology related work, artificial intelligence related research we are doing right now, and PCB designing and PCB development and manufacturing, assembly, programming, C programming and all embedded firmware development is all about our company. If we are very good at that, then only we can run our business. If I am not a PCB designer, then how can I start a business which offers a PCB designing service to others? Makes sense, right? So when you are not a creative content writer, you cannot offer somebody to write a content for them as difficult. How do you find another person who is going to work on that particular skill, which is a core business centric of your entire business? If that person leaves the company, what happens? Or if that person is not working up to the mark, what happens? Or if that person is not interested to serve that particular client which you wanted to serve, what happens? Very difficult, right? That's
Yes,
why
sir.
make sure that in the beginning only, you just make sure that your core business skills, whatever it is, either you must be specialized in that or your co-founder must be specialized in that. If not, then hiring a person for that particular core business skill, it is very damn messy thing in the entire startup ecosystem. Okay. And when it comes to services or a product, you have to manage them. Like when you are going to launch a new feature in your service, whatever application you are developing, or say for example, you have your own gaming company. Whenever you are launching a new feature of that particular game, you must be knowing that when to launch it, when to develop it, when to validate it, and when to give it to the customer. Or if you are a product-based company, if you are developing a new product, when to launch that product in the market. That is all the core decisions we have to take, and we have to make sure that our team is capable of developing it. If your team is not capable of developing it, what happens? You outsource it. Can you think of your core business is getting outsourced from somebody else? Is it possible? It is way risky. What happens if that person, the external person who is developing that particular product, will not deliver on time or will not deliver whatever you expected? Your entire business model sucks, isn't it? So that's why you must have that particular skill. In the previous slide now, which is all about marketing and advertisement, or maybe finance and accounting, or maybe administrative and management. These skills, you can learn it. You can have technical results. And if you are a technology based company, say for example, in our case, we are electronic system design and manufacturing company. Our electronic circuits are upgrading every 6 months, and we cannot keep our this year ka inventory for the next year. It is just not possible because next year the technology is different. I think pretty much you can correlate to this one. Mobile companies, I hope everybody is aware of that, right? Every 6 months, a new series of mobile will come from the same brand. If you consider any brand, whether it's Apple or whether it's OnePlus or maybe Realme, Redmi, whatever brand you consider, they will be launching new vertical of that particular product, or maybe new upgraded product in the next 6 months only. So every 6 months they are going to upgrade their inventory. Every 6 months they are going to shell out their entire inventory and then start a new product development. That's what very important when it comes to technology and service. And team monitoring and upskilling is something which is another vital thing. Say for example, I only consider myself in this process. When I started UTD, I was very good at single layer PCB design and development. Okay, it's a one part of the entire PCB designing industry. Very small part actually. I'm very good at single layer PCB designing and manufacturing, soldering, and all those things. But when it comes to next year, after 1 year of my experience in UTD, I got to know that I need to know about two-layer PCB designing also, because people are asking for two-layer. When people are asking for two-layer, we must be able to develop it, design it, and deliver to them, right? On that time, I upgraded my skill. I went to my mentor and I went to my teachers and I went to some courses online. Then I learned how to develop a two-layer PCB. Then I started my But when it comes to core business, your entire business is centered to that particular skill, then you have to upgrade yourself like anything. In fact, I personally love this statement to tell everyone on my every meeting or every interactive sessions. Actually, wherever I go for a guest lecture, I used to tell this one, right? What does that mean? My engineering started after my graduation. Yes, I'm saying it right actually. You heard it right. My engineering started after my graduation, because the thing which I learned in engineering is all fundamental. But when I came to industry, that is completely different. But I cannot understand the industry without fundamentals. So college education is very important, which made me to understand the industry, which is fundamental. Thereafter, I started with learning the new skill with respect to industry level, like 4-layer PCB, 2-layer PCB, and so many things. RF design, power circuitry, power management, and all those things came into the picture after my graduation. So that is the beauty of learning. You should be an open-minded person, and you should be learning kind of a person all the time. Then only you can say yourself as a startup founder. Otherwise, it is very difficult. If you say that I know A plus B is equal to C and I'll keep on doing the A plus B is equal to C forever in my entire life, people are not going to accept it. Though you are very good at A plus B is equal to C, people want something like C or D, or maybe they want X plus Y is equal to Z. Who knows? You must be open-minded and you must be upskilling yourself when it comes to your core business. I'm not talking about other things. So you can hire a CA for that particular activity. It's not necessary to learn by yourself. The people, we are having thought process on administrative engineer most of the time. I call myself as a PCB designer in front of my clients, because that is the core skill of our entire startup. Okay, so these are the 4 pillars of any startup. If you start any startup, make sure that you complete these 4 pillars. Then only your foundation as well as the slab of your entire startup will be stable and will be in the proper position. Okay. Before jumping into my talk on our Complika journey, which is Turkey Innovation Private Limited, I just wanted to take some of questions from the chat box, which is asked by some of the participants, and try to answer them. So let me scroll up and so Chandru said, sir, I want to know how entrepreneurs enjoy their life. and what motivates them to be different from others. Basically, enjoyment of this particular journey, which is a startup, is not going to be easy. If you think like, startup founder is always a fancy person and he is not having any tension, he is not necessary to report anyone, or if you think like entrepreneurship is easy job, then believe me, you are got it wrong actually. It is the most difficult. In fact, right now you can take my example only. After my graduation, my friends went to the company for employment and all. Of course, as I told you, there is nothing wrong and nothing right in entrepreneurship and employment. There is no comparison. Both are different opportunities. Both are really, really great opportunities nowadays. Okay. But the people who went to employment or job opportunity, right? They are having more time. They are talking to more and more family members. They are spending more and more time in enjoyment and all. But I'm the one who is spending more and more time in office. If you ask me, I spend my more than 80% of the time on a business sector only. Not necessary to be in the office itself, but in the outside also. Okay. So it's not easy, but I love it. If you love what you're doing, then that is the enjoyment. That's how the entrepreneurs are successful. If somebody is successful, you go and ask him why you are successful. Pretty much the answer is he loves what he is doing, or she loves what she is doing. Day and night, if you ask her to or ask him to do that particular activity, whatever they are doing in the mid of the night after waking up them, then also they are very happy to do it. In fact, I personally believe it, because whenever I get mood off or whenever I feel uncomfortable, then I do a PCB design. It's strange actually, but that is how I love it. Whenever I sit for computer in front of computer and start designing PCB, trust me, I forgot most of the things. I literally forgot everything. Oh, it is said like that, right? There is way to say that actually. If you are addicted to something, then your addiction becomes your passion. So I am addicted to PCB design. So my passion is PCB design. So I never ever feel like I'm doing some work. Actually, I feel like I'm enjoying the process. That's why I'm happy. So the same way, most of the entrepreneurs are happy because they are doing what they love. Okay, obstacle as they make the. Okay, I think Ajay Rathod, I have given you the answer partially with respect to Chandru's question, I guess. But still, I want to elaborate something. Obstacles are very important actually. If you feel like if I don't want to have any problem in my life, then better you do the job actually, because job is the most easiest thing I personally feel. Obviously, there is a corporate life and some rules, restrictions, and all those things are there. But if you compare, I mean, it's not good to compare, but still, if you compare who is more free time kind of a person with respect to one employee who is working in big company or small company, and the person who is starting his own business or her own business, then the person who is employee in another company is having a more time for anything else. Okay, there is a prescribed time for the company, like morning 9 o'clock is a check-in and the evening 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or maybe 8 o'clock is a checkout. But when it comes to company, your customer may call you, you must be answering the customer query. That is what happens actually. Okay, so those are the obstacles. I mean, if you feel like obstacles are not expected in the entrepreneurship and all, that is not true. And how to face them, it is based on the experience. Right now, I am having a little bit of experience with respect to my accounting and management, with respect to book of account and all. So whatever happens wrong tomorrow, I can identify it very easily because I learned it in a hard way. If you can learn it by any other mentor very easily with a small, microeconomics kind of a course and all, then it is wonderful. That's how you can solve your obstacles and go ahead. In fact, if you ask me now, I'm taking a course from Harvard University right now on leadership actually, how to become a best leader. So on leadership, I'm enrolled with some course in Harvard University by edX platform, and I'm trying to learn it. If you ask me what is the necessary of that course, then I'll show you my administrative and management pillar. In that pillar, right now we need very good leadership quality, and I'm trying to learn it. Nothing wrong in that. So that's how you need to learn and go ahead with the entrepreneurship. Obviously, it is a very difficult journey, but yes, anybody can do it. And coming to the other questions, like, sir, we know that this is important point in the, okay. There is no other question, I guess. Is there any other question other than that? No, nothing. All two questions are answered. So now I'll come back to my presentation. Quickly, I'll finish in another 5 or 10 minutes maybe, because pretty much I'm done with the content today. I'm just going to other parts of our story so that you can correlate actually. Okay. So EarthKey Innovation Private Limited, it is EARTKey. Why it is so called EARTKey means, E means ESDM industry, which is electronic system design and manufacturing. ART is artificial intelligence. Key is all about key innovation for global problems. That is our vision and that is our motto, like electronic system design and manufacturing with artificial intelligence to develop a key innovation for the global problem. Okay. So in the 4 pillars in our startup, actually, we implemented pretty much everything and we tried it is making sense for us. That's why I brought that particular context or maybe, that particular information to you guys so that you can decide if you want to become a startup entrepreneur. You can literally consider these 4 pillars for designing your business model. Okay. And when it comes to our core business, as I already said, we are working on idea to implementation. When somebody comes to us with the idea of developing new products, then we help them to develop that entire product, validate the product activity, and then we help for them to go for a mass production, which is the core part of our entire business right now. And then we provide them a technology solution. Like recently, one of our customer came to us asking to develop a pulse oximeter because it is a COVID time and all. They wanted to develop a pulse oximeter. We literally spent our time to develop a pulse oximeter from our company, and then we successfully completed it, and it is in the market right now. Okay, that's how the 4 pillars are implemented in our company. That is EarthKey Innovation in Private Limited. I think there is one question, I guess. Can I say nowadays technology is a key factor for firm or business to stay in market? Yes, Aditya, your thought is correct. Actually, technology is going to bring a lot of innovation in your day. Great, thank you. What about others? Only few people. I think I can see only few people ka question and answer in this entire chat section. What about others? Any thought process, guys? By the way, this is a discussion. I'm done with my entire presentation, as I told you already. So this is a discussion from my side. Please go ahead and ask me question if you have anything. Or you want to suggest something in this entire slides which I shared with you. I mean, in this presentation, please go ahead and suggest me. I'm very open-minded to listen from your side. Sir, outsourcing people is good for startup or not? Absolutely, it is good until and unless you know how to outsource it. Say, for example, when it comes to finance, let me talk about finance actually, because most of the time startup founders are not handling the finance directly. Indirectly, they will be taking a call actually, but directly they are not going to sit in front of computer and grind that Excel sheet, right? I'm not sitting in front of computer to grind the Excel sheet. I'm updating the Excel sheet, not a problem, but I'm not going to balance my balance sheet, and I'm not going to create my cash ledger. I'm not going to create my profit and loss account. It is done by work I'm talking about. At least you know what you are expecting and what they are delivering. Are they matching or not? If you are capable enough of identifying that gap, then outsourcing is very, very, very good for startups. That is how you grow actually. Most of the startups outsource majority of the things and then they focus on the one thing of their core business. Okay, there are some questions. Oh, now I'm able to get the questions actually. I think now students are opening up. Okay, being an entrepreneur, need to know the level of enjoyment the entrepreneur enjoys. I didn't understood. Okay, enjoys the obstacle in his journey being an entrepreneur. I like to know those ways they do it. At least is said that the best you often the hard best. Okay, I really didn't get your entire question, Ajay. But still, I understand some context out of it. Otherwise, I'll consider that only and I'll go ahead. Yes, Ajay.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Go ahead.
Sir, I wanted to ask that, so understand my question, right?
No, actually, it's a little bit here and there. So I just wanted to clarify. I understood your point, I guess.
Okay, being an entrepreneur. Yes, sir. Being an entrepreneur, the obstacles that you face. Okay, sir. sometime you may have enjoyed them, or sometime you may have faced like a lot of trouble in doing so here and there. So at least those troubles would be so much enjoyable also, na, at that time.
Correct. True. Provided.
I wanted to know through what ways you went through, because
Correct.
even I do like challenges. That's
Yes. That is what. You said the two contexts here actually.
so.
Whenever there's an obstacle.
It was said. Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You wanted to say something.
The last context what I said, as it is said, the best view is seen after the hardest climb. Okay, sir. Unless and until it is said, unless and until we climb that hill, we don't have that satisfaction.
True.
Because still being far away, if you are saying that it is here only, then we can't reach there.
True. Very.
So that's what I mean, sir.
Correct. So let me answer your question as much as best possible from my experience. Again, this
Sure,
is
sir.
very wide question actually. I mean, wide range of question in this particular discussion. Now, see, when you say the challenges are, I would have done it on time, or I would have done that earlier as much as possible, or at least I would have taken some consultation from some CA who is capable enough to identify and complete these particular problems in on time. But somehow we made a mistake and we have to pay the price for that, which I literally not understood. I mean, not enjoyed, but still I have to complete it. I completed it actually. We never want that particular situation again in our life or in our entire startup journey, but still we have to complete it. Still I have not enjoyed it actually. So that is how the startup entrepreneur ka thought process is all about. Whenever it comes to the growth ka obstacle, then it becomes very motivating to you. But when it comes to your mistake ka obstacle or your mistake coming back to you, then obviously you don't enjoy it, right? But still you have to complete it. There is no option. You cannot run away from it.
Yes, sir. Either we learn or we win. That's the only motto, right?
Yes, absolutely. Either you win or not, I don't know. I mean, every time it is not
But we
possible to
learn.
win the context, but learning is always a happy ending actually. And
And
if you are not enjoyed with respect to learning outcome, then I don't think so. You enjoy the journey of startup.
obviously, sir.
Yes.
And thank you for using that word, sir, because being frankly, my classmates do call me through those words, literally, as you use those words many times. Thank you.
Okay, which word I really didn't get you? Entrepreneur, right? Or
Literally. The word literally.
Okay. No problem.
Yes, sir.
So,
And it was a very good clarification.
okay. Thank you. Hope I justified your answer.
Yeah. You did justify, sir. And it was very much satisfaction.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
we have another question from Chaitra here. So to become an entrepreneur, when even we need a technical skill and a technical program, right? Technical programming, no, I don't think so. If we are not technical background, then should we go for learning process again? It again depends on you using a drag and drop technology. I literally, don't know which segment you want to work, but you must know which segment you are working and what is the skills required for that. I think I answered your question, I guess. So I'll go to the other questions quickly because time is running out. Is there any process in startup? I mean, okay, Jyoti, your question is too vague. Can you speak to me? I mean, which process you are asking? Is there any process in startup? Are you asking about starting up, or are you asking about registration, or are you asking about finding better mentor, or what it is actually? Yes, Jyoti, are you there, or how it is? Okay, starting up. Okay. Yes, there is a process for that actually. I mean, there is very private limited company, limited liability company, partnership firm, and also the private limited. Yes, I covered pretty much everything. So these are the different types of companies you can register with the government of India, and the procedure for each different company is very different. So I better recommend you to consult any CA or CS. CS is a chartered accountant and a chartered company secretary. Sorry, CS is a company secretary. CA is a chartered accountant. If you talk to these two people, they will give you the detailed explanation about how to register your company with government of India and issue the documents. Okay. But if you're talking about how to start my company with respect to business, then you have to start with the 4 pillars which I shared with you, and also you start with designing a business model, which is the most important thing. Design your own business model canvas and validate it with some of your mentors, and work on the funding part, and funding in a sense not taking funding only, arranging a funds for yourself and the beginning stage, or maybe putting your hard-earned money also. That is also a good thing actually. And then thinking about the projection. By doing so, you can start your business. Again, there is no end. It is all like every 6 months or every quarterly you are sitting and working on your business model. There is no end for that. Okay. So I hope I answered your question. Okay, I got one more question. I don't know why you students are like this. When I started a session, you have not asked any question. Now you are asking so much of questions. But I enjoy these questions, by the way. Sir, as MBA student, they know about how to start a business. No, not necessarily. All MBA students are not aware of how to start a business, by the way. But they don't know about technical. Not necessarily. Again, okay. I know that some people are from engineering background. The student who is engineering graduate can enroll for MBA, right? When he comes to MBA, he is a best mixture of knowledge. He knows technology as well as he knows the management. Okay, both ways they are not correct, but still, I'll go ahead with your question. Is this depend upon which type of business we are starting? Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you are starting a business which is based on technology, then obviously a founder should have a technical background, right? I mean, he must know, or he or she must know the technology they are implementing in their startup. If not, then how they do it? I think pretty much I answered this question in our 4th pillar, product and service ka pillar, right? But still, if I want to summarize it, we need to know about one or other, like business as well as technology. Consider me only right now. I'm a technical person actually. I graduated from engineering background, but I am aware of MBA concepts at this point of time. Without those things, it is not possible to take a right decision. Okay, it is necessary to have a different thought process, different learning, and it is a lifetime learning. It is not going to end by any time. Okay, it is not necessary that MBA students is knowing everything about business starting and all. Most of the MBA students of mine and my friends are there who are not aware of how to start a private limited company also. Okay. And there are so many technical students who are not at all aware of technology that they are going to work with in their career. In fact, if you ask me only, after my engineering graduation, I'm not at all aware of artificial intelligence. I had done some projects in the college in artificial intelligence domain, but the moment when I entered into industry, I got to know what is the value of artificial intelligence. Though I'm a technical student, I'm not aware of technology. That can happen, right? And I was not at all aware of management skills, and I learned it in the process of entrepreneurship. So that's what I'm saying. Entrepreneurship is not about enjoyment. It is all about hard learning. Okay. After a lot of hard learning, after a lot of grinding, you come to the point where you scale up like anything, and you can become millionaire or billionaire, whatever it is, provided you executed your early days ka action in a proper manner. Okay. So I think, Pallavi, I have given you the satisfactory answer, I guess. Okay. So coming to the next question, sir, how to obtain a startup funding? This is very big concept actually. Channa Basava, right? Channa Basava, you are asking me some question related to funding, which is absolutely big concept, which I really don't think it is good to discuss in this meeting. But I want to tell you one specific sentence. Every startup doesn't need funding, and every funded startup not necessary that they will be successful. Okay, we literally see that so many news nowadays. This company is funded so much, this company is valued this much, and this company is funded by this person, something like that. But do you know that how many startups failed after funding also? It's more actually. I mean, it's more than 60%. So it is not necessary that all the startup needs funding. You can go ahead with your own early traction, or you can go ahead with your own money, or you can take a loan from other banks and other NBFCs, like non-financial banking services. But it is not necessary that dilute your equity to get a funding. But some startup need it badly. So based on the startup, based on the business model, based on the category of startup, you decide whether you need to take the funding or not. If you ask me, I have both examples. Funded startup Byju's, they are very, 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 very successful. In fact, they are unicorn actually. Recently, they are announced as a unicorn. So it is not necessary that every startup needs to be a funded, but it's your call. Again, how to get a funding is a big concept, which I'm not going to answer in this particular call. Okay. Yes, I think pretty much we are done. Any thoughts? Okay, so there is echo on that. Okay, any thoughts on our today's content, guys? Any input or anything? Any thoughts, or shall we wind up?
Vaibhav, you just share your LinkedIn ID in the chat box so that students will get in touch with you.
Yes, absolutely. Instead of that, Shruti, I'm just thinking that this presentation, whatever I shared with you, I want you to share that presentation with all students if they are interested. I mean, in
Sure,
any
we'll do
common
that.
group or something, because this is
We'll do
very
that.
important for them if they start a startup. Those 4 pillars, whatever I mentioned. Along with that, probably I think I'll share you a link of my LinkedIn profile.
Sure, we'll share the PPT with them.
Yeah, along with PPT, I'll update my LinkedIn profile and I'll send you the modified PPT, and you can share that with anyone. Okay?
Definitely.
Yes, yes. Okay, so Mohan, I think I'll share my LinkedIn profile with Shruti on. Great. Any questions or any thought process? Anything? Hope I justified today's I think 1.5 hour, I guess. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, Shruti, I think we are more than 30 minutes. Hope this
Yes.
is okay for you.
Akash, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your sharing your thoughts on foundation of entrepreneurial thinking. Also, thankful for spending your valuable time with us.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Now, I will request Soumya Rajput to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Akash. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So, vote of thanks is must for a program to be complete. So, I use this opportunity to thank the speaker of the webinar, Mr. Vaibhav Sugandhi, for sharing their thoughts regarding the topic with us. And since you shared your experience as an example, sir, it made us a bit easy and understood the things well, sir. Thank you, sir. And I would also like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. S.S. Injigneri, sir, and IIC coordinator, Dr. Anil Devangavi, sir, for bringing such a beautiful session for us. And I also thank Professor Brij Mohan Vas, sir, MBA department, and Professor Girish Badrashetty, sir, ISC department, for joining us. And I also thank Shruti Hiregowder, ma'am, for guiding us. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the IIC members and all the participants for being the part of this webinar. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your vote of thanks. In fact, before winding my session, I just would like to request me out of 10, how much you rate for this particular session? Out of 10. Scale from 1 to 10, whatever number you want to do. I mean, I just wanted to hear from you guys. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so many are saying 9 and 10. I mean 9.5. Oh, 9.5. Okay, that's amazing. You are a kick teacher. Great, thank you. It was very helpful. Okay, that's great actually, Soumya. Really, it was amazing session. Thank you. Okay, wonderful. Okay, that's great. I think I made helpful. I mean, I made some justifiable point for you guys. And I believe that this particular session is going to help you to become a best entrepreneur in your journey. And if you feel like this particular session brought you some knowledge, please go ahead and use that knowledge for your own. And somebody who is hating their jobs or any collaboration or your thought process or your suggestion or anything, I'm very happy for connecting with you guys in the future. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patient listening. And I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.